Every single day I get asked the same question. Sam, what do you think of Mr. Beast? Sam, what do you think of Skibbity Toilet? Sam, what do you think of Cocomelon? Well, rest easy because today I'm going to be answering every single one of those questions because I will be ranking every single YouTuber. Not really, only 250 of them, but they are the 250 most popular YouTubers. So there's going to be something for everybody here. I'm excited for you guys to hear my opinion. Hopefully you don't hate me after this video. I'm sure you could tell by the length of this video that it's going to be a long one, so grab your popcorns, get ready, don't get too angry at me, and here we go. As you can see, we have 8 categories here. S+, which is basically amazing, perfect YouTuber, no issues with them whatsoever. S tier is going to be a really highly rated YouTuber, somebody that I think is nearly perfect, just not quite there. A is going to be pretty good, honestly great. Like, they're not amazing, but they're great. B is like middle of the road. You're a good YouTuber, a lot of respect for you, but you're nothing like super special. Going down to C tier, you're just mid, just definition of mid. It's like, okay, cool. D is like, you're starting to teeter on the side of like, are you good? Are you bad? Are you mid? Are you terrible? It's like, we don't know. Maybe some videos are bangers, maybe some are terrible. Overall, you're not very good. F is going to be absolute garbage. You're basically like some of the worst of the worst. And then Z is the worst of the worst. Z is people who I actually have no respect for. So hopefully if you're watching this video and you're a channel that's on here, you get the hint. I don't want anything to do with you if I put you in Z. Anyways, let's do this. All right, so we're starting off with 5 Minute Crafts. 5 Minute Crafts is a YouTube channel that, if you don't know, they have 81 million subscribers and they post a lot of videos like life hacks or really cool things you could do with, like, you know, whatever, like a piece of bologna and like stick it on your face and you can have like a mask for Halloween. Pretty ingenious, honestly. Like, these videos slap on Facebook. I think they're like a pretty big kids channel as well. Like a lot of parents, DIY, really trailblazers in a lot of ways. Nothing super crazy. So I think in general, I'd put 5 Minutes Craft in like B. Now we have Will Nay, I believe is his name. And I've only watched a couple of his videos. I know he's like British, which I think will knock him down a tier. But no, in general, he has pretty good videos. I like his thumbnails and his concepts a lot. I know he has like some other channels as well. He's pretty solid. I think he's one of the better UK YouTubers, so I think I'm gonna put Will in the A tier. Next up, we have the Ace family, who I believe at the time of this video, they just got divorced, so I'm sorry to Austin McBroom and whatever like your wife's name is, but they're just classic family channel. If you've watched me in the past, you know that I have no respect for family channels because I think that you're exploiting the children, and them in particular, like just being super flashy, just trying to be like model-esque Pinterest family on YouTube. Not a ton of respect for it, but they are kind of OGs, so I'm not gonna put them in F because of that. But I think their content is pretty D to C tier. Do I be nice? How nice am I gonna be for this video? I'm gonna be brutal, so I'm gonna put them in the D tier. Again, they should be lower, but I have a little bit of respect because they're just like kind of trailblazers. All right, so now we have Adam W. So if you don't know him, he was like a big presence on Vine. He makes a lot of skits. They're honestly pretty funny. He's pretty big on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. He's a short form creator, I think, for the most part. 15 million subscribers at the time of this video. So, I mean, he's pretty big. I think his videos are kind of funny. A little bit cringe, like the people he kind of operates with, like Amanda Cerny, like that kind of crew from like 2015. But he's, you know, he's a good guy, I feel. Like, he hasn't been in like controversy and he makes funny videos. So I think you can't really knock him for it. He's just a middle of the road, pretty good YouTuber. So I'd put him right in B tier next to 5 Minute Crafts. Here we have Aiden Ross. I mean, if this was streaming, you have to give him his props. He's probably like an S tier streamer, honestly. As far as YouTuber, maybe I'll just judge him as an overall personality. I think Aiden Ross is a really important public figure for the live streaming space. I think he's given rise to like Kai and Speed, and I think he himself has brought like just chatting to a whole nother level. So I actually think Aiden Ross, I mean, he's got like his controversies for sure, but based on content alone, I think he's pretty entertaining. So I'm gonna slot him in probably like top of the A tier. Now we have Airac. I remember Airac, the first video I watched with him was like where he stole Logan Paul's couch or something. I have a lot of respect for him as a YouTuber because he's just like grind. He's a little like Mr. Beast-esque, like kind of following the same exact footprint. Him and Matthew Beam, I think, are like pretty similar in that way. Like, there's nothing unique about Airac where I'm like, you know what, like this guy is an S tier YouTuber, but he's good. He makes like pretty family friendly content. I know he's been in a couple of controversies, like he staged some of his videos, but doesn't everybody on YouTube? So I'm gonna really knock him for it. Mr. Beast says he's gonna be the next YouTuber to reach 100 million subscribers as an individual. I think that has to mean something. So I think Airac is going to be a B tier YouTuber. So this is Alan Chicken Chow. He's a shorts creator with 36 million subscribers. He makes long videos too. He's not really in my niche. Like, I don't watch him, so I'm not like super aware of his content, but I know he makes like generally kids content, which there's nothing wrong with that. I actually think there's something noble about making content primarily for kids. It's cool to kind of lean into that. He's a beast. Like, you have to respect somebody that's at the top of their game like that. I think he's the most subscribed to shorts creator, which is pretty amazing. So I like that. I make shorts. I think it's cool. He seems to be a good fella. Could he be cringe? Possibly, but it doesn't matter. He's kind of goated, so I'm gonna have to put him in the S tier. Here we have Lexi Rivera. If you don't know who that is, it's Brent Rivera's sister, and she just basically makes like second-rate Brent Rivera videos. videos, although I don't think that she's actually like stealing her content as much. I think what she does is just like take existing concepts and she'll make those videos. But I know her brother, Brent Rivera, who we'll probably get to, yeah, there he is. He's like really notorious for stealing people's thumbnails and like basically their entire intros, this and that. I don't think she's as egregious. So I actually think she's like a whatever YouTuber. I'd probably put her in like C tier. Now we have Ali A. I'm not really like a big Fortnite creator watcher, so I don't know where I'd put Fortnite creators because it's kind of hard for me to judge. I know he used to be super poppin'. I mean, I always see his shorts pop up and I feel like they look pretty familiar, so I'm not like the biggest fan of Ali A. I think his content is generally whatever, but you know, he's an OG Fortnite YouTuber, so I think that alone is gonna put you like maybe bottom of the B tier. That feels right. So the Annoying Orange is a YouTube channel that basically like uses the mouth of an orange and CGIs it on and is like talking. It's kind of annoying. I mean, it is what it says. It's an annoying orange. I never liked that the teeth were super yellow. That always like annoyed me for some reason, but it is a staple of the internet, a staple of YouTube. Super OG, so for that alone, you're gonna have to give him his props and put him at the top of B tier. Okay, so similar to Adam W, this is Anwar, who makes honestly like the same exact video, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on him. I kind of already said everything I have to say about these Vine guys turned YouTubers turned short form content creators. I'm gonna put him right next to Anwar because he's a little bit worse than him, I'd say. This is Ariel, who like I don't really interact with her content too much. Maybe I've scrolled across her on TikTok in the past, like during 2020, I think I saw her. I don't know what content she makes. I know she's popular. Maybe she was big on like Musical.ly with like her and Loren Gray. So other than my brief exposure to her, I don't have much to say. I kind of wish I could have another column that says don't really watch. However, based on what I watch, she's literally just whatever. So I'm gonna put her like right in C tier, but above Lexi Rivera. Here we have ASAP Science. I love ASAP Science. I think they were like the doodle originators of like being smart and doodling it, and it gave rise to a lot of the animators on YouTube. They're probably not like the first to do it, but they're definitely the ones that popularized it. And I feel like I always learn something when I watch their videos. Like they're certainly very interesting concepts. So ASAP Science is going to be another entry into the S tier. I think they're great YouTubers. So this is Austin Jones. I know he's been like a lot of controversies. I've covered him in the past. He's done some stuff, I believe, with underage girls. So right off the bat, I mean, this is going to be a garbage person. So garbage people automatically go Z tier for me. You know, like don't watch their content, like kind of just stay away from them, especially if you're young. Here we have Aziland. If you don't know who this is, just think of Sniper Wolf, but I believe she's Canadian. So she's kind of like Canadian Sniper Wolf with less controversy. So there's something to that. She's pretty massive. She has like tens of millions of subscribers, I'm pretty sure. Her content's pretty inoffensive. Again, made for kids, generally React. So it is just like a normal classic React YouTuber. And because she's not in controversies, I think she's got to be a good B tier YouTuber. All right, here we have Bayashi. Bayashi is a, I believe, Japanese, it could be racist here, cooking channel, and he eats food. And I saw him in a video with Mr. Beast once, and then I was like, ooh, and so I watched all of his videos because they're all shorts for the most part, and they were pretty fun. I think he has good editing. He's got good a good face, like very jolly and happy. I think he's one of Japan's biggest creators. I know there's another guy too that does cooking, so again, like I don't know how accurate this is. However, I think he's pretty solid, and so I'm going to put him actually into A tier. All right, so now we have Be Amazed. Be Amazed, I think, is one of the more underrated channels out there. So they're not just a compilation channel in which they take videos from other channels and put them together, kind of like a daily dose of internet. But what they do is they put a lot of narration on it, and they make like these really long 25-minute videos daily, I believe, on pretty interesting topics. They provide a lot of additional context to it. It's pretty intelligible. So I'm a fan of Be Amazed. I think they're a pretty good channel. So I think they're gonna go A tier as well. This pink tiger is going to be Beast Reacts. Beast Reacts, I was looking at this the other day. They haven't uploaded in 8 months, so I don't know what's happening there. I think they decided to step away from it to focus on the main channel, but they're the king of React. I mean, like, I think they're one of the biggest React channels at 32 million subscribers other than Sniper Wolf, and every video they put out gets like 50 million, 60 million views, so they're doing something right. I personally think it's a little too like quick paced. I mean, if I'm like watching somebody react to something, I don't want it to be like that thrown in my face over the course of 8 minutes, which is the length of their videos. So I think overall Beast Reacts is a pretty whatever channel. They're great though at what they do, but for me personally, I don't get much out of watching them. I've never personally watched a full video. I've probably like stopped at the 2-minute point. So I'm gonna give them maybe like middle of the B tier right next to Airac because they're good, but just not for me. All right, here we have Beluga. Beluga is a channel that makes like Discord videos that are less than like a minute, but they're like long form, so it's kind of interesting. He blew up during COVID, I believe. I thought a couple of the videos were amusing. I think since then, maybe he hasn't like repivoted too much. So his content generally nowadays, like I don't come across it as much. So he's somebody, again, I wish I could kind of put in a different category, but you know, he's good for what he is. So I'm gonna also throw him in B tier. Now we have Benzalert, another like kids content creator, makes like a lot of reaction react videos, makes a lot of like trying stuff, doing XYZ. I think he does a lot of things right. I love his thumbnails, and I think he has like a pretty massive kids base, which again, like that's something that I think is really cool to do on YouTube. I don't know if he's been in controversies. I know he's like always being talked about in like that Brent Rivera sphere, so it's kind of hard for me to know, you know, his individuality to an extent, but pretty solid. I mean, Ben's Alert, I'd say like is probably honestly like A tier. So now we have Boogie. Boogie is like an old YouTuber OG back in the day, and he would just like do a lot of review, like interesting stuff. He had a pretty big cult following. Since then, he's you know, he's certainly been in controversy recently. I know that he's got like spending issues on like buying prostitutes and models, so he's got to get his life in order, I believe. I think that's like the consensus around him right now. I'm personally detached from it. I don't really watch him too much. I also don't care what people do, honestly, so I've never been like super invested in following what he can and can't do better. But you know, he's classic, he's a good YouTuber, but I think he's kind of stained his reputation over time, dropping from a B to maybe like a lower C tier, arguably D tier, because I think he's a little bit annoying now. So let's be a little friendly though. I'll put him right there, bottom of the C. Bradley Martin. I used to watch him a lot because I'm a lifter, and so he was one of the first big lifting content creators to be on YouTube. I used to watch his vlogs all the time. I think it's cool he was able to like turn it into like an actual physical gym with Zoo Culture. He's also like a regular on like the Nelk podcast, or at least he used to be. He has his own like Raw Talk podcast as well. So he's pretty ingrained in culture. He's been relevant for like 10 years. So I think Bradley Martin, like higher than people think. I think he's like solidly an A tier YouTuber. Brent Rivera. So there's things I like and things I really don't like. I don't like the fact that he basically steals from smaller YouTubers and then turns ideas into his own. So for that, he's not going to be higher than D. But what I do like is that he's consistent. He plays the game like being a YouTuber, which I think is a pretty hard thing at his level to kind of consistently do over time, because it just requires a lot from him. So he certainly has like work ethic, but like originality, creativity, honor, humility, I think those things kind of dock him down. But I'm going to be a little bit nice because again, like if you're that big, you're doing something right, and you can't like steal your way all the way up. I'm sure he's had like a really nice like growth trajectory, and I'm just kind of judging him on a few videos, but I'm gonna put him bottom of the D tier. I mean, it's not good, but it's not like bad because he does some things right. Here we have Brightside. Brightside is like Be Amazed. They're basically the same exact thing, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I'm gonna slide them in right next to them because Brightside's like a little bit cooler with their animations. Maybe we'll actually throw him like right underneath Aiden Ross. They're a staple. We have BuzzFeed's Unsolved Mysteries, their Unsolved Network. It's thought-provoking, it's cool. I think Netflix now does like crime documentaries a bit better, so it's not the go-to place to watch it, but they still do some very interesting things. So I think with that being said, I'll throw them like top of the B tier next to Beast Reacts. BuzzFeed is interesting. They used to be like literally S tier, but I think they're going to take a little bit of a back seat because they like fired everybody on their crew, and now they just like make kind of weird videos, and they just like haven't evolved. So like it's hard for me to give them, and they're a victim of their own success. Once you're that big, it's kind of hard to come back down to earth. I'm gonna put them like bottom of the A tier. They're still BuzzFeed, so it's like people like to like hate on them all the time, but the thing with them is you got to respect how long they've been doing it, and they have their own website. I think they even made like movies and stuff. I disagree with like their politics entirely. I think they insert it like way too much into their content, but I'm trying to separate church and state here, you know? I'm trying to separate my religion versus the BuzzFeed state. So it's kind of like, this clashing is happening, and I'm tipping my hat to them. I'm not going to be like these other YouTubers saying, oh, BuzzFeed, cringe, cringe, cringe. Maybe, but not the worst thing in the world. Okay, this is Case O. I see clips of him on Twitch. He just wears a hoodie and he just basically like streams and just does his thing, and he's pretty good, but he's just kind of like standard in his chair, which isn't bad. It's just like I kind of prefer a streamer that's a little more dynamic, I'd say, and not just somebody who's kind of like butt of the jokes, streams consistently. Like he does things right, just not like my cup of tea, but I respect him, and so I'm gonna put him like in B tier, maybe right next to this orange. Here we have Kalis. I've come across some of his videos. I know he's super popular. I don't have much to say on him. I think he makes pretty good videos. I think he's arguably like one of the more important characters on the platform, so for that reason he's gonna be an A tier. Let's just slot him right there. Now we have Charlie D'Amelio as a YouTuber. I mean, I don't know if she even posts anymore. I know she's big on like Dancing with the Stars. I think she won actually, which is insane, and obviously she's like a TikTok S tier, but on YouTube she's whatever. So if you combine everything, I mean, Charlie D'Amelio, I don't think her content is incredible. It's not like that, but you have to kind of respect the sheer magnitude. It's almost like you just have respect for the Yankees, like 27 rings. It's like, oh, you want to see greatness. Like, I want to see LeBron get another ring, right? Like, I want to see Mahomes run up the score, get his like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th ring. I want to watch greatness in front of me, and you know, undeniably greatness on every metric, like followers, views. She does something right. So you got to put this, I'm going to put her next to Aiden Ross. They have like a similar influence. CinemaSins, this, I actually just recently watched a video on CinemaSins and it was really cool. So CinemaSins, if you don't know what they do, they basically go through an entire video, like its entire runtime, and just like stop when there's like, oh, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Really unique. They have a ton of fans and they were able to kind of grow it into this massive business. I think they're really cool. They're one of my favorite like businessy YouTubers that just like, they don't have like a face to the name. They're just kind of like a general like concept. So I'm going to put them A tier, right? And they're like a bright side, but for movies. This is CoComelon. I'm going to go ahead and say it. CoComelon is probably, everybody says Mr. Beast, probably the most important YouTuber to ever come out of YouTube, because they have a reach on the demographic of 0 to 7 like nothing else in the world. And that is a powerful demographic because that is the future. They are influencing millions, maybe billions of babies as we speak. And not only the babies, but the parents who choose to put it on. They're so big, they have their own like massive Netflix show. I mean, they're responsible for probably like 100 billion plus views on the platform. As far as I'm aware, like as far as I'm concerned, they are immortalized in the YouTube space and they are S+. To me, they are like the perfect YouTube channel. It's just for kids, but it's like it's a perfect kids channel. All right, here we have Cody Ko. I like Cody Ko. I think he has some good content. I think he's pretty funny. I think his best thing he's ever actually done is the Real Bros of Simi Valley. It's like the show that he did with this other guy, Jimmy Tatro, who I think is really funny. But I think his podcast, I think Tiny Meat Gang is funny. And yeah, he's just like a good person, it feels like. You know, his controversies, I know he had one with like Jake Paul 6 years ago or something. But I think as a whole, Cody Ko is pretty solid. So I think he's an A tier for sure. Let's put him near Will Nay. Okay, now we have CoffeeZilla, investigative journalist. He follows like a lot of finance, crypto cases, a lot of like YouTube drama, but he's pretty thorough. He has also like a cult following. He was on Joe Rogan too. So, I mean, he's definitely like, he's got something going on for him. He's a good YouTuber for sure. He's relatively new, I think, like within the last 2 to 3 years, he started blowing up. So it's hard to put him into like anything above A tier, but I think he is solidly A tier. Okay, so now we have Linja, Cooking with Linja. She unfortunately passed away about a few weeks ago at the time of recording, and she was a cooking YouTuber that made a lot of videos with Nick DiGiovanni, and she would just essentially like, she's just a really cute old woman that would just like cook, and yeah, it's really sad her passing. I enjoyed watching her videos. I like seeing her collab with Nick. It was always fun to kind of see them on my timeline. I think that she's as good of a creator in that space as you can get. So I think somebody like her, so inoffensive, like nothing ever done to harm. I think she's an S tier YouTuber for sure. Okay, so this is the popular Five Nights at Freddy's actor Corey Kenshin. I mean, he has like a chokehold on like the scary game community. I feel like him and Markiplier are just like the 1-2 punch in that space. Maybe a little bit sprinkled in of like Jacksepticeye as well. But I mean, he's an OG. He's great. He's arguably S tier. I think somebody like Corey Kenshin is probably like an S tier YouTuber, honestly. Just really solid. Skibidi Toilet. So Skibidi Toilet, they're so big. It's like so crazy. Like Skibidi Toilet, like what is there to say? What can I say? What can I say? Skibidi Toilet, like it's an S tier. You like them or not. I mean, Skibidi Toilet consistently puts out bangers, has turned their shorts into longs, has now become a staple of YouTube. They're not controversial. It's just some, I believe, Russian dude playing Gary's mods, and he just makes like a lot of different situations. He's created lore that can be matched by only like Game of Thrones, Attack on Titan, and Breaking Bad. It's unbelievable content, truly at its core. I mean, arguably, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he's there. All right, now we have Daily Dose of Internet. Fun fact, my first time ever appearing on YouTube was in a Daily Dose of Internet video. It's not my first YouTube video ever, but it's my first time appearing on another person's channel. I was there in like 2021 or something in a video about like a dog escaping from like tar. And there's a video of me doing like this eidetic memory challenge on like humanbenchmark.com. Yeah, I mean, he was friendly when he reached out, just asked for permission to use the clip. I was like, sure. Used it. I was featured in the video, and then that was kind of it. So, I mean, he's just a compilation channel. I know people like his voice. You know, good channel, you know, nothing crazy. You know, you're just a compilation channel at the end of the day. I mean, I know he has like some independent stuff going on, but Daily Dose, like, you're fine. You're B tier. I put you like right near Annoying Orange. So now we have Danny Duncan. Danny Duncan, I think his like Virginity Rocks brand is worth like $500 million. It's like low-key the second biggest YouTuber business after Prime. He does like a lot of, I don't know, like wild content, I think is how you'd kind of categorize it. But he's like a pioneer in the space for that. And he's really like rolled out apparel to the next level. So that's something something I respect, his business building ability. He's also just like really loved by his fans. So he's a YouTuber that I think is really solid. I'd probably put him right near Aiden Ross. Like personally, I can't put him at S tier because he just doesn't have that for me, but I'm gonna put him like basically there. He's great. Now we have Danny Gonzalez, another like commentary YouTuber. He just kind of like talks about random stuff and then gives his 2 cents in like 25-minute videos on it. He's good, he's funny. I think there's like a lot of different Danny Gonzalez's. It feels like between like him, Drew Gooden, there's like this other guy too. Eddie Burback, I believe his name is, the guy that went to like all the rainforest cafes. They're like a group of commentators and they kind of do their thing. I mean, he's solid though. I like Danny. I feel like I've watched a good amount of his stuff in the past. So I think Danny Gonzalez is like a bottom of the A tier YouTuber. A tier though. David Dobrik. I mean, like him or not, David Dobrik is a staple of YouTube. I think he's one of those YouTubers that like really kind of changed what it means to be like a demonetized vlogger, which is like an important thing nowadays, especially like in the age of all these other social media platforms. Like David Dobrik just straight up didn't care, just put like copyright music on his stuff, made his videos 420 and just posted daily vlogs. And that was something amazing. I mean, since then he's kind of gone off the deep end with a lot of his controversies, and now he's like on Snapchat, which is kind of like a weird jail to escape to. But for what he was as a YouTuber, I mean, he was really solid. I mean, whether you think he was like exploiting his friends by putting them on camera, sure, if this was like an ethical tier list, then maybe he'd be like F to Z. But as a pure YouTuber, I mean, he's obviously great. I'd probably put him right up there with, you know, Charlie D, somewhere in the high A's. Now we have Deji, or Comedy Shorts Gamer. This is KSI's brother. I don't think he's like that great of a YouTuber. He's like a big boxer now. Deji's never did anything for me. I never thought that Deji's content was great. I was always kind of like, you know, whatever. I felt like he was the third or fourth prong in the KSI, Jake Paul, like Rice Gum sort of era. So I think Deji had put like maybe top of the C tier. Just never really did it for me. Here we have Darman. I mean, Darman's a staple. Darman's a staple. I heard him speak in person once and he's a staple, man. He's good. He's got an entire team of like 100+ people, lots of employees. He puts out these videos in which he just basically like has these skits. They're kind of like short movies. They're short films, like 15 to 20 minutes of like these random scenarios. I would love to be in a Darman movie. Darman, if you're watching this, please hit me up because I'd love to be somebody that you cast in one of your videos. That'd be really fun. So Darman, just because I really want to get into one of your videos, I'm going to put you S tier. Now we have Dixie D'Amelio. Dixie D'Amelio, not even close to Charlie D'Amelio in terms of popularity. However, she still kind of has a name for herself. Her content, I don't really know what she does. I know she had like a show. She had like Dave Portnoy on once, but I think that's like the extent of it. I don't know if she still does that. I think she kind of like just chills with her Hulu show now. She has that like Keeping Up with the D'Amelios or whatever it's called. So I think Dixie, you're kind of whatever, you know, maybe like C tier. The big question is like, if you ask a kid in Africa to watch a Dixie D'Amelio video, they'd be like, who is this? What is this? Like, there's just no entertainment that's kind of like to anybody. You kind of have to like be in the know of Charlie D'Amelio and then be like, oh, Dixie D'Amelio, cool, cool, cool. It's like too much. You're asking for too much for somebody to be enjoying her content, which makes you like a C tier entertainer or YouTuber. Okay, here we have Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is a solid YouTuber. I like him. I think he's important because he transcended medicine to make like content around it. And it's like fun content. Like you can watch this and it's like edited in the same way like a Beast Reacts video would be edited with less editing. He has a podcast too. He gives out some pretty decent information. He's into like holistic health and more natural medicine, which is something I really believe in. So I like that. So I think Dr. Mike, I almost called him like Uncle Mike, like he was my uncle. But I'm going to put him in the A tier, right next to David Dobrik. And now we have that's the Dolan twins. Yeah, Dolan twins. I didn't watch them. I know people are obsessed with them because they're handsome fellas. I believe they're from New Jersey too. So we got that in common, which is cool. But they do music now. I don't really care for them too much. They're not like my favorite YouTubers, but I have nothing against them. I think they're just like classic twin YouTubers. So let's throw them right in the B tier, right before Eric. All right, here we have Dr. Ryan. Dr. Ryan makes like face mask videos. A lot of the shorts, super fast paced. I actually met him before. He was a nice guy. I don't really watch his content beyond that. I've seen some of it. I think it was pretty good. I don't know what he's up to now, but he owns the niche. If you own a niche, you're solid. So I think he's a solid YouTuber. So I'd put him like right in B tier. Drama alert. So this is like Keemstar. Keemstar, I've been lukewarm on for some time now, but I think he's important in the space and he's a pretty good YouTuber because he knows how to garner attention. I mean, he leans into it. He literally calls it drama alert. He's a controversial guy though, and sometimes I think he says things just to be controversial. So because of that, I can't really rank him super highly, but I'm gonna put him like maybe bottom of the B tier. Now we have Dr. Disrespect, who I believe was one of the first big streamers to cross over onto YouTube, even though honestly he was pushed there because I think he got like banned from Twitch. But he's a really important figure. Everybody's aware of who he is. He's like a 40-year-old dude that's like 6'7". He's like an anomaly and he plays Call of Duty. He seems like a chill person IRL, because I've seen some interviews of him and sometimes when he's like unmasked, and he's been pretty solid. So I think Dr. Disrespect is like a top of the A tier YouTuber. Now we have Dream. Listen, I'm not in the Minecraft space. I don't know too much about Dream as an individual. I know that he like unmasked, got a lot of heat, put it back on. I know he has some allegations with like underage girls, so that's a no-no, of course. So I think overall, like ethically, he's kind of like whatever. Content-wise, I mean, I'm not kind of in it that much, so I think I kind of put him like B tier. Is that bad? We have Drew Gooden. Drew Gooden to me is like discounted Danny Gonzalez, which isn't a bad thing because I think Danny Gonzalez is a great YouTuber. But I just can't, like, if you're the second person in your niche, you can't be next to the person in your niche unless you're truly one for one. So to me, I'd say Drew Gooden's really solid, and in this case, that would mean B. Dude Perfect. So Dude Perfect is another one of those immortalized YouTubers. They're going to be S+ right next to Cocomelon just because of everything they do. They've basically like collabed with Nerf. They have their own show. They hosted like the Amazon Prime game, like with the Jets and the Dolphins, which like drew in 50 million people. Like they were the people hosting it. So they're pretty mainstream too. I think they were the first people to really do trick shots. Now it's like a massive thing. So Dude Perfect is S+. All right, so we have FaZe Banks here. FaZe Banks, one of the founder of Phases. He was really big back then with like Rice Gum, Mike Malak, all those guys. Next to him, he's got his other FaZe brother here. FaZe Banks, I don't really care too much for him, honestly. Let's keep it real. I never thought his content, honestly, was super good as standalone, so I think I'd put him in the B tier. FaZe Rug, on the other hand, is one of those YouTubers that consistently posting long-form bangers for like 6-7 years now, and he hasn't really slowed down. Kind of conquers any platform he goes on. I have a lot of respect for FaZe Rug. I think he's one of the goated YouTubers, so I'm gonna have to put him in S tier. Let's put him a little bit up. He kind of runs the S tier. FaZe Rug is a really important figure. So here we have First We Feast, which is Hot Ones basically with Sean Evans. I mean, this show is probably the most popular interview on YouTube. Like this is just every A-list celebrity comes onto Hot Ones to like shill for their new movie, or they just have some really interesting interviews with Sean Evans, who's a great interviewer. So I think Hot Ones is also an S tier channel. This here is Food Theorist. So this is like another one of Matt Pat's channel under the Theorist umbrella. He has like Food Theorist, Stylist Theorist, and then this of course is going to be Food. I don't really watch the videos too much. I know a lot of people like them, so I think they're good. Not much to say about this, so I'll put it like, let's put all the theorists probably in A tier. Although Game Theorist, I feel like I have to put in S tier just because of like who Matt Pat is and what he's done for like YouTube. I think he's got to go there. Game Grumps, I'm not like a big fan of Game Grumps just because I don't watch a lot of like animated YouTube content. I appreciate that they're good YouTubers, but I just personally don't watch them. So since I think they're good, but I don't really watch them, they belong right in B tier. This is George Not Found, another Minecraft creator. So where did I put Dream? Dream I put B tier. I think he's also there. Like nothing crazy about George Not Found. I don't think his content is like incredible by any means. It's Minecraft. So for me, Minecraft's not like the craziest thing in the world, but he's good. So I'll put him like, you know, ahead of Ali A. Next up is Gideon. This is like Gideon's channel around Jesus, which I mean, as a Christian, I believe in this. I hope that he's spreading the good word, but the channel itself, I mean, he hasn't made a single splash on YouTube. So I think this has got to be like C tier. Global Stats, pretty solid channel. So I used to use a lot of their videos when I'd like react in my shorts to like those things going up. So Global Stats has a lot of interesting concepts that they've decided to use in their videos. I like Global Stats. I think they're an A tier YouTuber. Here we have Good Mythical Morning. I think Good Mythical Morning, I mean, they freed Smosh. Rhett and Link are like OG YouTubers. They've experimented with a lot of different like trying X or doing this, which is an important thing to be doing on the platform. They've been relevant for quite some time. So I think Good Mythical Morning is an S tier YouTuber. I don't watch them. I find them to be a little bit, but I have to respect what they do. And so I have to put them S tier. GQ, what do? They do like, they don't do the autocomplete, right? That's Wired, but they do like some interesting like lifestyle videos with a lot of celebrities and athletes. So I find myself watching them from time to time. So I actually think that they're like a low A tier YouTuber. This is Guava Juice. I've never watched Guava Juice, so I can't say much about them. So my default for YouTubers that I haven't watched is typically B tier. I know he's people like him, so he's maybe A tier, but I'm going to put him B tier. So let's put him next to Daily Dose. H3H3 has gone through an evolution and like a couple of different channels between their original and their podcast. Originally was like calling out Karens and like talking about weed, and then like transitioned to like liberal politics, I'd say, for the most part. I think pretty openly, and they've just become like a channel now that kind of like peddles some of their points going out, which, you know, if you like it, great. I mean, they're entertaining for sure. Obviously talented, good YouTubers, but not my like cup of tea, but I do find I watch them from time to time. So I think overall I'd put them like, they're important though in the YouTube space. So I think as far as YouTubers go, they're definitely A tier. Honest Game Trailers. So I actually don't have a lot of experience watching them, so I don't have much to say. So I'm going to put them right in the B tier. This is How Ridiculous, I think, is name of the shorts channel that has like 3 of the top 5 most viewed shorts. Like they do these challenges and stuff. Pretty basic, but they're like these Australian YouTubers. They built out a warehouse and they do like all these different challenges, and it's kind of fun to watch. I mean, it's good. They rule every single platform, by the way. So they're just pretty big, pretty popular. They're A tier. Put them right there. How to Basic. I've never watched them. I always had a suspicion that the guy who runs How to Basic was the same guy. What's the name of the channel? You Suck at Cooking. There was a channel called You Suck at Cooking. It used to be one of my favorite channels to watch. And I feel like at the time I was like connecting strings like Charlie Day in that meme. And I was saying like, oh, they have to be the same person. It just all made sense. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but How to Basic like basically is the verdict's out. They're too weird for me to put them any higher than B tier. Okay, here we have Ian Boggs. Does like POV videos where like he just does these situations and then like he's like, oh, like I click this thing above me, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, I've met him before. He's a nice guy. He's chill. He's half Japanese. He used to make like Japanese content, like telling people how to speak in Japanese. I think he's pretty good in the long form too. So I mean, he's solid. So I think Ian Boggs would give like A tier. This is Isaiah Photo. Isaiah Photo makes like, I don't know, like his videos are just like kind of Ryan Trahan plus Eric plus Mr. Beast combined, though he's probably a bit more popular on shorts. But he grinds, he makes good concepts, good videos. He's in like that whole circle of like, again, like the Mr. Beast circle. So he's good. He's kind of like an Eric to me. I consider him to be like an Eric. So let's put him right in B tier. I don't know why I was kind of harsh to these 3. Looking again, I feel like these 3 should maybe be put up to A, but it's up to me. This is my opinion. So Speed is S tier. He's probably the best YouTube streamer by far. He's certainly the most entertaining and like viral. He's just constantly doing something. Started off with like his Talking Ben stuff, and then he became like a Ronaldo fan. Now he's like traveling to like Brazil and India and like doing these world tours. So I mean, he's insane. He's like 19 with 25 million subs and like 100,000 live viewers. So Speed is great. Jack Doherty, on the other hand, is another live streamer who I personally think is like kind of cringe. I know it's like popular to say that now. It's like trendy to not like Jack Doherty, but I just don't like him because I just think like he's just like a classic kick streamer, and like most kick streamers I think are fairly degenerate. And it's a shame because he used to make like pretty like, again, like inoffensive pranks, and now he just makes kind of like brain dead kick content. So I think I'm gonna put him in the C tier, but he's popular, so maybe I have to put him in the B tier for that. But again, my list, let's put him there. Yeah, it feels weird to put him below God, so let's put him like, or above God, so let's put him there. I want to be clear, Gideon's here. I love God, but it just, the channel's like, I don't even think it posted a video yet. Here we have Jacksepticeye. Really hard to not put him in S tier. I personally though, I'm gonna tell you something, I don't really watch him, so I recognize that he's important, but I just don't personally really watch Jacksepticeye too much, maybe because he's Irish. No, I'm kidding, I love the Irish. So, you know, if I recognize how important they are and I watch them a little bit, but not super much, I think I'm comfortable putting him in A tier. Here we have Daniel LaBelle, who has the most popular short of all time, and he just does a lot of like physical comedy. He's kind of Jim Carrey-esque in the way that he kind of like functions. He's a YouTuber that is also big on Facebook Reels, Instagram, TikTok. He's probably got 200 million subscribers across everything. He's like low-key more popular than Mr. Beast. I think his videos are good, they're fun, they're simple, anybody can understand them, and I think it's the mark of a great YouTuber. So Daniel LaBelle, as far as shorts creators go, he's like A tier, arguably S tier, so I'm gonna actually slide him in right here. Jake Paul is a name that is like synonymous with YouTube at this point. I mean, you think of like top YouTubers, like, oh, Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, KSI, Jake Paul. It's like really easy to say his name, so I think that means something. Like, he's also one of the first YouTubers to cross over into something else that isn't like content, i.e. boxing, which is impressive, and has done it professionally, not just like these random show fights like a KSI will do. But Jake Paul he's important, and he's kind of really popular in the mainstream now because of his boxing. So I mean, like him or hate him, he's got to be like a high A, low S. I think I'm gonna actually put him there. If I'm gonna do some reshuffling, I'd probably put Alan Chicken Chow here, and then I'd probably move Speed up towards the top of S tier. So this is just my little quick adjustments. Good, I like that. So here we have Alyssa Violet, who is Jake Paul's ex-girlfriend, and she was in like Team 10, and I think she appeared in a good amount of videos. And I think, interestingly, she was the topic of the Fall of Jake Paul video like that whole beef between the two brothers. Like she was the catalyst to all of that. So in a way, I mean, she's made her mark because she's in Logan Paul's and I think Jake Paul's most popular video. So that's kind of cool. But as an individual YouTuber, I mean, Alyssa Violet, does she even make content anymore? If she does, it's not for me anyways. But you know, if you're relevant in Team 10, I feel like you got to be somewhere here. Let's put C. I got to start being a little meaner. This is Amanda Cerny. Again, she was a Viner. She started making some things on YouTube. I never thought she was super entertaining. I think people liked her, frankly, because she was good looking and because she had like some good crew around her, like with King Batch and stuff. But her content for me, like her, like whoever else was the name of that girl that looks like Shakira, the Hispanic girl. Somebody will say it. I don't know who it is. I forget her name. But I'd probably put her like somewhere B. Let's put her bottom of the B. She's with the Viners, right? Adam W. and then Anwar. Let's put Anwar there. This is Big Dawes TV. I love Big Dawes TV. He was like OG prankster, but he felt like what he did was actually authentic. And it wasn't like pranks. He'd like give people money. I think he started to popularize like the giveaway prank kind of hybrid. I used to even watch his vlog channels. I thought he was interesting. He did like the Klay Thompson prank walking into the Warrior Stadium. That was cool. Big Dawes is a staple for me. Big Dawes is like an A-tier YouTuber. This is Blow Glotties, who I don't watch, but I remember they were on like a Colin and Samir podcast once. And she was talking about her business or something. I saw her somewhere and it was a good business. She's got like a good business going and she was able to leverage her channel for it. So great. I don't watch her content. B tier. Cameron Dallas. No thoughts. Nothing to say on it. I know he makes music now and it looks like a decent looking fella. I think a lot of girls like him, so cool, but not for me. B tier. Captain Sparkles. Again, like Minecraft YouTuber, but a little more mature and respected in the space. I don't watch him. I think he has good insights. I think I kind of look like him too. That's been something I've been told. So for that reason, I'm going to put him at the top of B tier, higher than all these other Minecraft creators, because you and me, Captain Sparkle, we have something in common. Broseph Brostar is a shorts creator. Really solid. I think a lot of talent. I think that there's the potential of a boom from this channel. This is on my like to watch, like channels to watch. Like I think they're gonna boom over the next like 3 to 5 years. So I personally like it. I think the content's somewhat interesting and that's good enough for me to be in the let's put him bottom of the A tier. This is Loren Gray. So in the same vein in which I talked about that girl Ariel, I don't know where I put her. I put her right there. Just kind of like classic TikToker, whatever, musically blew up. YouTube, I don't think she's super relevant. I'm gonna start being here, C tier, C tier. You're whatever. C tier is whatever, right? D tier is like pretty bad. F tier is terrible. C tier is whatever. She's whatever. Popular, cool, musically good, but that's done. It's YouTube, it's new era, it's 2024. So C tier. Now we have the comments section with Brett Cooper. I've been tagged in some of her videos before, so that's kind of how I first got hold of her. She's like part of the Daily Wire, which is like Ben Shapiro's group. They're out in Tennessee doing their thing. I think she's got some interesting content. I come across her videos and they're pretty cool. So I think Brett Cooper's really solid. She has a massive fan base. She's in shorts too. She makes a lot of short form content and primarily like react or commentary, mainly like political. So I'm not like incredibly political in what I consume. However, I don't find myself like disliking any of her stuff. So I think if you're putting yourself in that like thresholdy area, I'll put you in the A tier. Let's put her right next to Ian Boggs. This is Daddy of 5. Daddy of 5 like abused his kids, and so terrible YouTubers automatically go Z. That's just how it goes. All right, here's Dan Rhodes, who's a popular magician YouTuber, and I've watched a lot of his videos when I did like the watching the most viewed YouTube shorts, and he was pretty solid. It was pretty entertaining content, but doesn't pop up enough and doesn't feel like he's like evolved, I guess, too much over the past few years, and so I'd probably put him like in the B tier. Now we have Dan TDM, another staple of YouTube. I think he's British, maybe Irish, but he's just right in that like landscape of like, you know, Markiplier, Corey Kenshin, Jacksepticeye, Dan TDM. They're all like the same, you know, and they're all good, but they all can't be S tier. So let's put him like right below Jacksepticeye. Now we have Dental Digest. Dental Digest does a lot of videos on like dentistry and like, you know, is this good for your teeth and like brush your teeth and like orthodontist stuff. Again, like kind of like Dr. Mike, but a little more like made for kids, kind of like high octane, like high, you know, highly edited and stuff. Not really for me, so I'm gonna put him in the B tier, but he's a good YouTuber. Let's put him right next to Beast Reacts. Now I have the Dobre twins. Dobre twins for me have like pretty brain dead content. Like they always talk about people dying, like, oh, my brother died, my sister died. So they're probably gonna be in, I think they're gonna be our first entry into the F tier because I never came across a video from the Dobre twins that I actually liked. I feel like a lot of the things they do are not staged in the good way. Like there's a lot of good staging of content. Like if you script your content for instance, that's not bad staging. That's just like prep. But they do like really bad. It's like, yeah, oh, my brother died. Like that's kind of messed up. So I got to put you low. Emma Chamberlain is not for me because I feel like I'm not her target demo. However, she is a very popular YouTuber with the ladies. I think she probably has like a 90% like female audience, and she does these vlog style. She was like the Sam Sulek of vlogging back then. Like she was just very comforting. People consider her to be like a comfort YouTuber. And I have a lot of respect for that. I think there's something about long form content on YouTube that needs to be explored more. And she was one of the pioneers. So a lot of respect for Emma Chamberlain. Let's throw her in the S tier. Here we have Epic Mealtime. Epic Mealtime was a fascinating channel with Harvey Morenstein or whatever his name was, the big dude that looks like Ben Roethlisberger. And their videos were a blast to watch. They would make these like 6-minute videos of these ridiculously high calorie food items, and then they would eat them afterwards. And they had like Muscles Glasses, who was like a member of the cast. It was a really fun time. It was great to watch. So I'd have to put them probably in A tier. And speaking of Epic Mealtime, we have Epic Rap Battles of History, who also were very important. I mean, there's not much to say about them. Like they kind of had a similar impact. Their videos were super viral and super fun to watch. So let's throw them right in the A tier. Okay, here we have Erica Castell, who's another one of Jake Paul's exes. So let's just not even like take too much time here. Also going to be in the C tier. FA alludes to Fail Army, which is just a compilation channel. So there's really not much to do with them here. I think it would be a little bit disingenuous for me to throw them into the A tier as like a great YouTuber. They're just a pretty good YouTuber because they just put together clips that everybody wants to see. They're like Daily Dose of Internet without commentary. So I'm going to put them in the B tier. This is Phantom, who's like one of Kai's friends. He's in that that group, whatever Kai's group is called, AMP, I believe. I've never watched his content, but I'm aware of like Phantom Tax because of like brain rot TikTok like memes talking about Phantom Tax. I don't even know what it means. I think it's when he like takes food from people. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. I could be wrong. Please correct me if so. Like, if you're an AMP, you're probably doing something right because Kai's group is like massive and they do a lot of things right. But like, I don't know, Phantom, like what? B. I don't watch you. You're probably solid. I don't watch you. This is Film Theorist. Again, like we said, throw all theorist into here. All right, moving on to Fuzi. FuziTube is like, he's like Vitaly. It's like you got to put them kind of similar. FuziTube has made a resurgence on Kick with streaming, but he was an OG, just classic prankster. Got a lot of respect for Fuzi. I think Fuzi's a goat. So goats. What do the goats say? They say bah, and bah starts with B, but I think he's actually A. Here we have FPS Russia, a channel where this guy like faked having this like Russian accent, which I think is pretty funny, and he would just like shoot guns, and then he got banned, and then he came back as a different channel. But FPS Russia, I never really watched his stuff, and so I know he's good. I've watched his stuff through YouTube React videos that I've then made, so I've watched him retroactively. So because of that, maybe I know you a little bit, and I'd put you in the B tier next to Drew Gooden. Here we have Fred, classic. Let's not take too much time with this. Fred now has like a channel in which he does like reviews and react and like similar content to what I do. And he was a staple. He was like the first YouTuber to reach like a certain milestone of followers or subscribers. I forget. He also had a movie made of him. So he's important. And anybody who's important is at least an A tier. Now we have Gabby Hanna. What do you do? I don't know. You're going to be right here in C tier. I feel like this is like your crew. Okay, here we have iDubbbz. iDubbbz is just like controversial in the YouTube history books because he would use the N-word a lot. And then he would make like these really cool then videos called Content Cop on a lot of these YouTubers, and he did some really interesting ones on like Rice Gum, Jake Paul, etc. And they were all cool. He would do it like with Leafy, and like I liked him. And then like he became a little bit of a different, like transformed himself, and he started hosting Creator Clash, which is like this boxing event. And since then, I mean, I haven't really thought of him too much. I don't think when people think of the greats, it's like, oh, iDubbbz. But I think he's a good YouTuber, so I want to put him like top of the B tier near Dan Rhodes. All right, IGN, the YouTube channel. I mean, they post game trailers, so it's useful, but I think that's the extent of IGN. I don't know what more they're doing, so I think we're gonna throw him in the A tier. Next, we have Jax Films right here. I don't know if that's what he looks like right now, but his most recent drama that he's been in is with Sniper Wolf because she doxed him and his family, which is obviously messed up. But he's an OG YouTuber, kind of in the commentary space, very like Penguin Zero-esque. I don't know if I could put him in the A tier. If I did, he'd be at the bottom, or I could throw him maybe top of the B, but I like him, but I don't really watch him too much. So let's throw him like top of the B tier. All right, so here we have Jaden's Animation, who I don't really watch, but between like Odd Ones Out, Jaden's Animation, they kind of have like the storytelling niche carved out on YouTube, and to that I have a lot of respect for. So Jaden's Animation I think is important, and I'm gonna put them in the bottom of the A tier. James Charles as a YouTuber kind of defines like that makeup niche on YouTube between like them, like Jeffree Star, Manny Moi, like who else is there? I don't know. But James Charles, he kind of transcends makeup, and he's kind of more like general entertainment. He's, you know, a pretty good creator, whether you like him or not. Again, on the ethical scale, he'd probably be quite low because I know he does some questionable things. But his content itself, I mean, like, we gets like celebrities on and does their makeup. I mean, if you're in the makeup space, you probably like this. So I think he's a pretty great YouTuber, just at the end of the day. Just solid, great, you know? Not even good. Like, he's a great YouTuber. I think this is Jason Nash, who is part of the Vlog Squad, and then I think he branched out to do his own things. I think he's finding his way. He's doing like TikTok lives right now. I personally think he's pretty funny, and so I have to kind of put him at least in the B tier, but he can't really go much higher than that. He hasn't done enough to deserve that. So let's put him like maybe like above Dream and Drama Alert. So here we have the first YouTuber, who is Joed, and he made Me at the Zoo. Now he doesn't obviously make anything, but he's also the co-founder of YouTube. So how do you not put him in the S+ tier? Like, this is Joed we're talking. This is the GOAT of YouTube. He's the fetus. He is the calf, not even the goat. Like, what's a baby goat called? Calf, right? Next up, we have Gideon. Gideon gone too soon. I think he was on YouTube for about 3 years before transferring to Gideon, which is the channel I put in C tier. But Gideon, his channel was pretty successful. He would get like 5 to 10 million views on like long prank videos, which is impressive. He is super popular, like, to be clipped and like for short form content as well. I think a lot of other creators respected him as well because of kind of like how socially unawkward he was, just able to go up to anybody and talk to them. Yeah, he was a good YouTuber. I think he was gone too soon in terms of like leaving his channel behind. I don't think what he did was crazy. Like, it's not like he was doing like really bad things. At the end of the day, he was just like kind of annoying people. But, you know, to each their own. His channel for me is definitely like in the A tier though. I'd put him right above GQ. Here we have Jojo Sim. I know him as well. Popular Shorts channel. This channel gets like lots of videos with hundreds of millions of views. You'll just see one of his videos every now and then. I think pretty solid overall, but not really like a long form presence, so it's hard to kind of put them above B tier. So let's maybe throw them right near Dan Rhodes. Here we have Jesse James West, who is a fitness channel that also does like a lot of other different content types in the space of like lifestyle, I'd say. You know, as somebody watches fitness influencers, I think he is one of the best, if not the best. I'd probably give it to like Will Tennyson, but he's definitely one or two. So a lot of respect for Jesse James West. I think he's also from New Jersey. Again, he gets like extra shout out if that's the case. And so I'd probably put Jesse James West in the A tier, maybe quite high. I actually really enjoy watching his videos. So probably like right around Be Amazed and Ben's Alert. Okay, so now we have Jelly. Jelly was friends with like all those like Quebble Cop and all them. Like, they would do a lot of gaming and Let's Play together. They were kind of, you know, important in 2016, but I don't think Jelly is like super important anymore. I don't know if Jelly has like the staying power of a YouTuber that I think is obviously necessary to be into the A tier, S tier. Like, he had a good moment on YouTube, but I don't think Jelly is kind of like what he used to be, and that kind of hurt him in my eyes. So I think Jelly's gonna go ultimately like E tier, which still isn't bad. He's a good YouTuber, just not, I can't say great anymore. Here we have Jesser. Jesser is a great YouTuber. He's probably like one of the best sports content creators on the platform. Also got his start, I believe, in shorts and then like transferred to longs. I think he's even on like 100 Thieves. He's got his like Bucket Squad. Is that the name of like his merch line? So he's successful, does a lot of cool videos, a lot of cool collabs, and he knows a lot of like professional athletes, so he integrates into his content. I think it's hard not to put him like top of the A tier. He's really important in the space. I'd probably put him like maybe like right behind Aiden Ross. Here we have Kai. I think that Kai is probably essential to put in S tier. I don't know how you can, in good faith, make this list without putting Kai in S tier. It just wouldn't feel right, because if I'm putting Speed there, then I feel like I have to put Kai kind of right behind him. Kai is massive, and Kai does a lot of right things. He's like constantly relevant. Aiden Ross, honestly, like thinking of this, should probably be moved up to S tier as well, but I'm gonna leave them here for now. I think this is like the right triangle of how to put these streamers. They're just so entertaining, these two, you know? Like, Aiden Ross has times where I feel like his chat carries, but they're just always constantly entertaining. Okay, here we have Rubius, who is a popular streamer. I think they were the slowest channel to reach like 1 million subscribers, which is like, I think it's something like that, which is a testament to how long they've been doing it. But yeah, Rubius, popular streamer. I think he's Spanish. Maybe he's from Spain. Kind of like XQC vibes, I think. Does similar stuff. So just for longevity alone and just for the grind, I gotta put him probably bottom of the A tier. King Batch. So King Batch, popular Viner, turned movie star. I think he's in a lot of movies. And, you know, he's a socialite, hangs around with the right people. He's got a good crew. His content's fine. I used to like his Vines. So I think as a content creator, he's funny. YouTube, not so much. I know he has like that like really cringy like BLM thing where he looks like a Chipotle bag. So that kind of knocks it down a bit for me. So I think King Batch batch is like solidly top of the B tier. Okay, here we have Joji, who I don't know too much about, and so again, I'm gonna have to default and put him into B tier here. I know Joji makes music now, which is fun, but content-wise, really not enough information for me to like truly operate happily off of this. This is Lele Pons. This is who I was talking about before when I was talking about who Amanda Cerny's friend is. Lele Pons is just Amanda Cerny, but Spanish, and so let's put her literally right next to Amanda Cerny. Okay, this is J Station. J Station is also a loser for lying about his girlfriend dying, which in the past I put who are these guys? What's their name again? I already forgot. I think it's the Dobre twins, but I put them in F tier for lying about their brother's death. So I think it would only make sense to put J Station also in F tier. So J Station, yeah, let's put him F tier, garbage YouTuber. Now we have Vitaly. So Vitaly, kind of same vibes as Fuzi, not much to say here. Also making a similar comeback on Kick like Fuzi. I actually think Vitaly on YouTube is better at YouTube than Fuzi is at YouTube, but worse at streaming. But he's interesting. He's pretty crazy. I think the craziest thing, if you guys have never seen this before, he climbed the pyramids of Giza, which is like absurd. There's like less than probably 100 people who have done this, and he only spent 5 days in like Egyptian jail. But that's like a crazy, like he climbed up the pyramids of Giza and like that's an insane thing. Like when I saw that video, it had like 1 million views. I was like, why doesn't this have 100 million views? It's the craziest video on YouTube in my opinion. And so that he's A tier. It's Vitaly. So let's put him right here. Now we have the richest, who basically like chronicles the lives and riches of celebrities and stuff like that. And you know, it's fun to watch here and there. It's really good like food videos. You know, like you have like an eating YouTuber that you watch. They have good videos to put on for that. So I think all in, we put them maybe somewhere in like B tier. Here we have S Sunday, who like I didn't watch. I know that the type of content they make is also like gaming adjacent, so it's gonna be just like another solid like B to A tier. So let's put Sunday like somewhere here. This is Whindersson Nunes, who's like a maybe Brazilian Portuguese creator. I think he was like in a boxing match recently. He's really big by subscriber and follower count. I think he makes music as well. I don't personally watch him, and so I have not much to say here, so let's throw him in B. This is Preston Plays. Preston, pretty cool guy. Got to meet him. I'm just really like wholesome content. Preston's just kind of like, you know, does his thing. He makes maybe like Mr. Beast-esque type videos, like Mr. Beast gaming type videos. And yeah, he's just like has been doing it for a long time too. I think he's one of like the hidden soldiers of YouTube that's just been like grinding, always consistent, always adapting. So to him, I'd say Preston's probably like pretty solid in the A tier, maybe even like pretty high up, close to S. Let's throw him right here next to Danny Duncan. This is Lucas and Marcus. What I've seen from them, I don't really like. I don't have much justification other than a couple videos I saw, but based off that alone, I think that's enough to throw them maybe in the C tier next to Boogie, so sorry. All right, it's getting quite small here now. So now we have Roman Atwood, the king of vlogging and OG pranks, although I didn't think he was as entertaining as Fuzi and Vitaly, and so Roman Atwood, I mean like post-era, maybe if anything is even better than what he was originally, and I still don't really like it too much. So Roman Atwood for me doesn't do it too much, but he's a good, you know, God-loving family man that hasn't been canceled or in any drama, and he's just been a good YouTuber for years and years, and so there's a lot of respect to that, and so I respect what he's done, so I'm gonna throw him in the A tier next to Epic Mealtime. This is Oversimplified as the channel notes, as the title notes, just oversimplifies complicated concepts around like history or current events or whatever it may be, and it's a really cool concept. Again, a really good like eating food video. They're kind of OGs of like doing all that, so let's throw them right in there with other like brands like GQ and IGN, so let's put them right there. This is Pete Manzingo, I believe is his name, and he's a shorts creator, does a lot of stuff with like his mom, I think, and it's like comedy sketch stuff, probably a little bit staged, just like your classic YouTuber. Let's put him bottom of the B tier, nothing crazy. This is Rosanna Pensino. Again, don't really know what she does too much. Let's throw her in the B tier, not even thinking about it too much. Nick LMAO, again, like really not much to talk about with Nick LMAO. I think maybe he has a second channel that I've seen recently, but that's like the last time I've been exposed here, so I think for that sake, let's throw him right there. This is Slow-Mo Guys. Slow-Mo Guys, it's almost like the hydraulic press videos, but they just like slow it down to like really slow frame rate, and it's cool, and they do a lot with it, but I'm not sure that makes them great YouTubers. They took a really simple concept and they capitalized off of it, but I don't think they're like incredible YouTubers that need to be A tier, so I'm gonna be a little bit hard on them. Just call them good YouTubers, B tier. All right, this is Sam Pepper, who I think Sam Pepper, if I remember correctly, is a pretty terrible person. If he's not, then I'm sorry to Sam Pepper, but I'm pretty sure he was like arrested and he's like in the same like Austin Jones crowd, and he's done a lot of questionable things like faking like murders and stuff. And so anybody's degenerate, prank, faking murder, you belong in this region right here. So sorry, man. This is Sky Does Everything. So Sky does like Minecraft, Sky does XYZ, Sky does a lot, but I don't watch Sky, so Sky has to go somewhere in the B tier. This is Nicole Arbor. She makes like the Dear Fat People videos, like all those like offensive videos in which she just like talks and becomes controversial. One of like, I guess the first like willing to be controversial figures on YouTube, just like talking, doing rants and stuff, which I guess is commendable to an extent. But also if like if your entire livelihood's contingent on getting people mad, I think that in and of itself is a little bit of like a fractal view of content. So you're fine, B. These are the Merrill twins. Again, don't watch them either. I feel like they make pretty good content. It's not for me regardless, so I'll just call them good YouTubers. This is Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts does like scary games, kind of a la Markiplier, Corey Kenshin, just like a little bit smaller, so that tier below. So for that, again, right in the B tier. So I like this guy a lot. His name is Matt LaRose, and Matt LaRose is like a shorts creator who does a lot of like fun editing, and he does like backflips and stuff. He's like a really agile guy who does videos kind of based around like wall jumping or like trampolining or just anything crazy like that, breaking like paper towels by running through them. And I think he has like a pretty cool niche carved out on shorts. I don't know if he makes long form videos, but I always like when I see his videos. A tier. This is Lexi Limitless. I believe she was the youngest person in the world to travel to every single country, which is like incredible. I think she was like 20 something by the time she visited all 196 sovereign nations. I think she's also dating the guy from Yes Theory, the guy with the blonde hair. So there's that. That's like some of the lore behind her. I've watched a couple of her videos because I think there was a time I was actually interviewing this other guy named Gavin who's been to every country in the world, and I tried to get some like inspiration, and she had like a video on it. So that's how I got exposed to her, and she's pretty solid. I think she appears in the Yes Theory videos too. So maybe top of the B. Lily Singh, Superwoman. Important on YouTube, undoubtedly, because she went on to like host a show, like a talk show, which is crazy. I don't think it was super successful. Yeah, it's Lily Singh. I mean, what more is there to say? What's up, guys? It's Lily Singh, and Lily Singh I'd throw in A tier. Now this is Jake Fellman. Jake Fellman does videos in which he basically makes these like 3D renderings of and animations that look really realistic, and they're usually centered around something scary. They're like these short form 8-second videos. I'm sure you've all seen it before. There'll be an example on screen, but yeah, the videos they're interesting, they're solid. It obviously takes a lot of talent, and I respect that. So I think Jake Fellman's an A tier YouTuber, one of the biggest shorts creators too. Here we have Jinxie blowing up in the live stream space right now. He's kind of like a White Speed, only a little bit worse at streaming in my opinion. He plays like Rainbow Siege 6. He does like a lot of random things. I think he lives down in Tampa, so he's like a different regional Speed is the way I think of him, and he's on Twitch instead of YouTube. He's blown up, you know, respect to Jinxie. I don't know what he does really too much, but he's probably an A tier creator at this point, so let's throw him right next to James Charles. This is Jubilee. I always have a good time watching Jubilee videos. I don't know about you. I think it's easy to hate on Jubilee, like, oh, they do like lazy content. They just get people in a circle and they start debating. But I mean, that's really like sociology in a nutshell. They just get like a lot of interesting characters and concepts, and then they, you know, put them to life, which is a pretty cool thing of them. I was actually watching a Jubilee video yesterday of like 100 people in a circle, and you had to like weed out who the most attractive person is, which is a fun thing to do. So Jubilee is like an A tier YouTuber. They're high key like better than BuzzFeed in my opinion, maybe even higher than like CinemaSins. Let's put him right up here near Brightside. This is Josh Peck, who, I mean, he's not a YouTuber. Let's be real here. Josh Peck he's not a YouTuber. Josh Peck, I'm gonna have to be, I like Josh Peck. I think he's funny in Drake and Josh. I think he's a good person, but I just don't think Josh Peck's a good YouTuber, right? Like when has anybody said my favorite YouTuber is Josh Peck? Never. C tier. This is Joe Santagato. I don't really watch too much. Pretty good though. B. Let's not get crazy here. I have no idea who this is. I'm told that it's Adam B. Don't know who this is. I'm gonna be honest. Don't know how Adam B got into here, so I'm gonna have to just throw you in D because I actually have never heard of you. I'm sorry, Adam B, if you're watching this. All these other people, I'm like vaguely aware. I have no idea who you are. Okay, this is Jenna Marbles. Again, like really big YouTuber, really instrumental to the growth of that type of content, like sit in front of the camera, do skits, this and that. She kind of like evolved with YouTube, and I always respect that of people coming up. Had her fair share of controversies. Who didn't? If you've been on the platform long enough, I'll probably be in controversy soon, maybe because of this video. But Jenna Marbles, I have to throw maybe in A tier at the bottom because she is a great YouTuber. Just, you know, it is what it is. Here we have Jeff Jeffree Star, another like, you know, staple of the platform, makeup niche, probably in the same sort of like realm as James Charles, maybe a little bit less entertaining. So if anything, I put Jeffree Star like bottom of the A tier, and let's move James Charles up like somewhere around here. Made like $1 billion brand. I know Jeffree Star is one of like the richest YouTubers, but you know, you attach your name to Shane Dawson a little bit too much and you get pushed down the A tier. What can I say? Here we have KSI. KSI is probably an S tier YouTuber. Let's be real. I don't know why him and Kai have fake bald caps on in their profile picture. However, KSI has $1 billion business built through YouTube in the form of Prime. He's got all of his like YouTube boxing stuff that he kind of invented alongside Logan Paul, Joe Weller, that entire group. Obviously like a really big gamer too, which is just like his true blood in YouTube. He makes music too, and he posts it on YouTube, which is cool, all of his music videos. And he's like probably the UK's biggest YouTuber outside of PewDiePie if you'd count him. So I think KSI is solidly S tier, and I'd say he'd go as high as like maybe here. He's like so far top 4, I guess I'd put him. Joe Bartolozzi, New Jersey, so he automatically is a little biased. I like him a bit more because of it. Obviously massive TikToker. He makes like also like react videos on YouTube in which he goes through and like posts like stream clips essentially. He's a good YouTuber. I think he has like good content. I see he does like a lot of donation streams too, so he seems like a good guy, a lot of fresh ideas, good personality, and I think he'd probably sneak his way onto A tier. I think he does make good content. All right, this is Jordan Matter. If you don't know who this is, I mean, he's like a dad that used to post his photography stuff on his channel, and then he converted it into a family channel. And take a look on your free time at how massive Jordan Matter's channel is. He'll post like 30-minute videos like, oh, my daughter and her boyfriend went to like a dance, like 30 million views. They're like, it's like Mr. Beast of dads. It's like crazy. So it's a family channel though, so it automatically in my eyes is C or worse, because you can't be a family channel and be like a good YouTuber because you're by nature exploitative. So Jordan Matter, but he's not the worst, but it's very clear he's like playing into his kids so much. Just take a look through, you'll see what I mean. But I'm gonna put him in the C tier, you know? Let's put him like right around Jack Doherty. This is FaZe Jarvis, who is a boxer, and I think he's banned from Fortnite. That's like the two things I know about him. Based off of that, I mean, that's not, we're not working with a lot, you know? That's not like a ton of information to be going off of. So there's really not much for me to say outside of, I think you're a B tier. Maybe even like low. Let's put you next to Amanda Cerny. This is Jay Schlatt, I guess a Minecraft creator, also a streamer, just kind of like in that general realm of like Twitch streamers, like Pokimane, Ludwig, like that circle of people. I think Jay Schlatt's pretty funny. Aligns himself though with Minecrafters, which like I don't like because I don't play the game, so I don't really get that side of it. But I think as a whole, he's a pretty interesting personality. Pretty good content overall. I'd actually probably slide him in the A tier. I think he's deserving of that. Kids Diana, it's like Cocomelon for Russia, and it's centered around like a couple of kids. It's like Diana's the name, I think, of the mother, and she has like these 2 kids, and it's just massive. I mean, if you're a kids channel that has over 100 million subscribers, you're doing something right. You'd be really hard pressed to find me crapping on them. And it's a kids channel, so I do have to dock it, but it's not the same sort of kids channel as you're thinking. I'm talking about like family vlogs are a little exploitative, but like Ryan's World, Kids Diana, that's like a little bit, I think, less. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted how I treat these now because I want to be consistent with my philosophy here. Cocomelon, obviously, it's like you make animations, it's different. Kids Diana, they're Russian too. I don't know, like Russians are different. They're just different people. You know, I might be viewed as a hypocrite because I'm gonna obviously praise them, and then like Jordan Matter, for instance, I didn't. But I think Kids Diana, because they don't like, there's no like realization. I feel like the whole like, oh, my daughter kissed her first boyfriend, like that's weird. That's why Jordan Matter down. Kids Diana, let's put an A tier. I feel more comfortable with that. Okay, here's KSI. I guess the other thing was like KSI's React channel, so I'm gonna put normal KSI here, and then his like second channel, which he still does like some pretty good content, I'm gonna bump down to A just to clear that up. Now we have Kurzgesagt. I've never known how to pronounce that. Personally believe some of the best videos out there, like 45-minute good animated documentaries on a lot of different topics, ranging from science to technology to history to politics to current events. Really well-rounded, solid channel. In a nutshell is like its like second name. I think this is S tier. This is better than Game Theorist, which I'm actually gonna bump down to A tier. Perfect. I'm also gonna bump Jake Paul up to S tier, right next to Emma Chamberlain, because I forgot that his vlog days, he like carried YouTube, and he made Every Day Bro, which is like the most popular song in YouTube history. Now we have Kwebbelkop, who has now turned his channel into AI, so everything you see from Kwebbelkop at this point forward is completely AI generated, including his avatar, his video ideas, his thumbnails, I believe, which is, you know, an interesting interesting angle. It's cool he's at least like pushing the boundaries of what content is, I suppose. But used to play around with Jelly a lot, do a lot of Let's Plays. Also, he's Dutch, so shout out to Hari, who's editing this video. I'd have to give this a solid B tier, just because I'm not really too into it. You'll probably go a little bit above Jelly, because I think you're more recognizable. So let's throw you like right here near King Batch. Now we have LankyBox, who I consider to be one of the most impressive YouTubers of all time. LankyBox's output, go to LankyBox's channel, look how many videos LankyBox uploads. Just look at it. It's crazy. It'll blow your mind how often different lengths of videos, different kinds of videos centered around different things, from Roblox to reacts to gameplay to like IRL stuff. This channel is an anomaly. I don't know how it happens. I don't know the name of the two people who run it. I don't even watch it. It's like made for kids, but I think it's an amazing channel. Personally, I think LankyBox, like as far as YouTubers go, like literally right up here, top 10 YouTuber for sure. So let's put him right above FaZe Rug. Lazarbeam, good YouTuber, Australian, which I like, and does a lot of content that, you know, is in that same realm as like gameplay, react, kind of like a classic gamer. Top react / gaming YouTuber, I'd say, from Australia. I don't know if there's many out there, but he also has done more IRL stuff. He connects with other YouTubers, so he's got a good network on YouTube, and that's pretty impressive. So I think all in, I'd put Lazarbeam somewhere in the middle of A tier. He's a great YouTuber. This is Leafy. I don't like edgy people. I don't think it's like funny to be edgy, and Leafy was like a very edgy person. Like if you're going out making like dark humor or like edgy joke, it's just like not fun. Like I think, well, I don't think anything's funny, to just be frank with you guys, but like it's just kind of like, it's cringe. It's just like, okay. Oh, funny. It's just like, all right, I mean, you're kind of, it's just whatever. Like whenever I see his content, I'm like, oh, maybe if I was like 13 with like terrible humor, I'd laugh at this. Let's throw you in C. I don't know. Lex Friedman. I don't know. This doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the theme of these YouTubers, but Lex Friedman is a engineer and like rocket scientist or something. And he has like a successful podcast. He's like a jujitsu guy. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast multiple times. He's had many popular figures on his podcast, including like Kanye West, Elon Musk multiple times, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos. So he's just like a really respected podcaster. I personally like listening to him a lot. So I think Lex Friedman's like right up here. You get interviews that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. So shout out to Lex. Linus Tech Tips. I don't watch him. I'm more of a Marquez Brownlee guy personally. I think that my tech has to come from Marquez if I'm going to be listening to anybody. So Linus is like a little tier below, but builds out pretty big business. And I know a lot of people like him. So let's put him like bottom of the A. Like he's a great YouTuber. I just don't really watch him. Now we have Liza Koshy, who was the ex of David Dobrik. She's kind of gone on to have her own separate career. She's very Lily Singh-esque. They're kind of like the same sort of YouTuber. So I'm going to put her right below Lily Singh because she's not as good. She's a little bit better than Joe Bartolozzi, I'd say. Lo-Fi Hip Hop Girl, let's be real. Lo-Fi Hip Hop Girl has like the longest live stream in history that ran for like 7 years. Just like at any given point, you can go on, listen to some nice lo-fi hip hop. Really transcended the game. Lo-Fi Hip Hop Girl's an S tier YouTuber. Logan Paul, let's like not waste any time here. Logan Paul is more popular, I'd say, than KSI worldwide because of his wrestling abilities now in the WWE. He's got his podcast. He's been canceled. He's been uncanceled. He's been the most popular YouTuber probably in the United States over the past 5 years. You can make that argument other than Mr. Beast. So maybe top 4. I don't know if he's S+ because he's a little bit controversial and doesn't make content anymore. So I can't give him the S+, but I'm going to put him S tier. Ludwig. So popular YouTube streamer, Twitch streamer turned YouTube streamer, but always been a YouTuber. I come from a similar scene from him with the Smash background. So I've known Ludwig, like who he was, for quite some time now, and it's been cool watching him rise. Yeah, great YouTuber. One of my personal favorite YouTubers. I consider him to be a great general entertainer. I think he's one of the more, maybe even the most entertaining person I've seen just like in front of a camera for a long period of time, and that was obviously shown with like his subathon, which he did for like 30 days, I believe, which is impressive. So yeah, for me, he's honestly an S tier. As far as like gaming YouTubers or anybody in that adjacent kind of ecosystem goes, I'd put him right below Lo-Fi Hip Hop Girl. I think she's still a bit better of a YouTuber than him. Now we have Luke Davidson. Luke Davidson does like skits in the shorts, and then he'll do like some more react stuff in the long. I think he's Canadian. He's very popular, I believe. I don't know. Let me know, Canadians. But you know, he's solid. He's a good YouTuber. I wouldn't say great, so I'd put him somewhere maybe like in the middle of the B tier, maybe like near Beast Reacts. This is Mark Rober. Mark Rober, he fused engineering with content, which is fun and it's cool and it's interesting, and he's massive and he makes videos that that anybody can watch, which I think like having that accessibility and low barrier of entry to people is really important on YouTube. It makes it accessible to the general public, which I love. Good guy, he's never been in controversy. I think he's like high key, maybe even a little bit better than, I think he's top 10. Let's put him top 10. He's tied number 6 right now on this list, but yeah. Markiplier, again, like S-tier YouTuber, one of the best out there, pioneer. He's PewDiePie, but not PewDiePie, you know what I'm saying? Like he's right there. They're like 1-2 in that like whole gaming let's play space. So I have to put him maybe like a little bit above. I'm still gonna put LankyBox ahead of him because I'm a LankyBox stan. So I'm gonna put them right there. Marquez Brownlee, again, now we're getting some really good YouTubers. Like Marquez Brownlee, tech god. Like he is S-tier YouTuber. Like he is that guy in the tech space, similar to the way that Mark Rober is for science and technology. So I'm gonna have to put him right next to Mark Rober. Again, top 10 YouTuber. Matt Stoney, gee, Matt Stoney like brought competitive eating to the platform and has done since then like these massive challenges on YouTube, gave rise to a lot of people like LA Beast, and then like Joey Chestnut even has a YouTube channel now. And Matt Stoney's done it with a smile on his face, very low budget. It's cool always watching his videos. They're just like straight filming. He'll just like click a timer, speed up the video. Very simple concept, but is able to do it well. So I think Matt Stoney's an S-tier YouTuber. Let's throw him right ahead of First We Feast. This is getting really small now. Matthew Beam. Yeah, Matthew Beam is just like, let's be real, rip off Mr. Beast. Everybody wants to say it. It's true. Matthew Beam makes videos that are like, you know, Mr. Beast plus Eric plus Ryan Trahan. It's just like the classic beastification YouTuber. He's good at what he does, but like to me, I can't put him above like B tier. Probably the bottom two. Maddie B Raps. So if you don't know who Maddie B Raps is a YouTuber that was like this young blonde-haired teen that would like sing, and people thought he was cringe, but he's actually like, I feel like a pretty decent guy, but like his videos were kind of terrible, but he was culturally relevant, and so for that alone I'd put him in the B tier. Meat Canyon makes all those cool animations of like absurd, like, you know, elongated, gross, you know, YouTubers and their avatars and around the situations that they're in. Really clever. I don't know if he is the animator or if he has a team around him, but nonetheless, impressive YouTuber, good YouTuber, A tier. Now we have Merrick Kana. So Merrick Kana is a YouTuber that makes like dancing videos, I believe, and he's mainly short form. I think he was on like America's Got Talent. I mean, I don't like, if you're only shorts and like you're just dancing, you're kind of like TikTok-y. Let's put you in, that's B tier. You're not a bad YouTuber, but you're just like whatever. I believe is Mini Minter, which is like one of the Sidemen's channels, so I don't know it too much, but I know people like it, so B tier. Now we have Miranda Sings. Miranda Sings, pre or post cancellation, this is tough. I mean, you have to consider the cancellation when you go into all of the content judging, because she does have the most popular apology videos of all time. I also never really liked the makeup on her lips. I thought that was always very weird how she put like extra lipstick on. I thought it was a really weird clown look. So I'm gonna put Miranda Sings. I think she's an entry into the C tier. MMG, who is like isn't he like a Madden React type YouTuber? I don't know him too well, but I know people like him, but I don't like him too much because I don't watch him, obviously. So I think it's B tier. Now we have Mr. Beast. So, I mean, I'm sure this is obvious, but Mr. Beast, going to be the most popular YouTuber of all time within the next couple of months. He'll probably pass T-Series and be at like 275 million subs, maybe 300 million by the end of this year. Massive YouTuber, influences thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of channels to do the same thing, copy paste. He takes over every platform he's on. He is like the #1 YouTuber of all time, top of the S+ tier, ingrained in YouTube history books forever. Even Mr. Beast Gaming, you know, like again, it's similar to the reacts in that it's like kind of like fast paced, this and that, but the gaming's fleshed out, and I think the gaming is at least like a little more watchable for like a general audience. So I'm gonna put Mr. Beast Gaming in the A tier. Now we have Mr. Who's the Boss, who's like in the same general realm as Marquez Brownlee, but he's British and he's good. He also does like other things. I saw he put out videos on like trying different TikTok hacks and this and that. So he's a good YouTuber overall. He seems like a trusted source, good editing. I kind of like what he puts out. I like the way that he films, the cinematography. I'd probably put him in like top of the A tier. He's not S, but he's right there. Watch Mojo. Let's not kid ourselves here, okay? Watch Mojo is an S tier YouTuber. Top 10 lists, Watch Mojo owns that. That is them. That is all Watch Mojo. Watch Mojo is an absolute beast. All right, now we have Nas Daily, who makes like videos on like, I don't even know, like kind of like documentary, short documentary styled videos. A little hard to watch for me, not gonna lie. Never been like a massive Nas Daily fan. I feel like they've always kind of been whatever. So I'm gonna have to put Nas Daily in the B tier. Sorry sorry. Here we have Casey Neistat, so king of vlogging. You know, if you were around on YouTube in 2015, 2016, 2017, some of those years, I'm not sure. He was vlogging his life in New York, sold his company to CNN for like $35 million, I believe. So he became like an ultra rich millionaire after. Then he just started making vlogs and this and that. Very comforting, kind of like an Emma Chamberlain of vlogs for guys and in New York instead of LA, where I think Emma maybe lives. So I'd have to put him probably like bottom of the S tier. I personally don't think Casey Neistat's like the god of YouTube, but a lot of people do. And so I'm not going to make a lot of people upset. I'm going to put him in S tier, kind of where he belongs. Nelk, again, like godfathers of group pranks and partying and this and that. And they have their massive podcast that kind of rivals any podcast in terms of the guests that they pull. They're also like, I think, important because they rebelled against YouTube, willing to get demonetized, a la David Dobrik, same sort of vibes to them. And so Nelk's solid. Like they definitely influence culture a lot. So I'm going to have to put them a little bit higher. Let's put them right before Jake Paul. Nick DiGiovanni, one of the most popular cooking channels, shorts, longs, you name it. As I mentioned earlier in this video, he collabed with Linja a good amount. Seems like a really solid YouTuber. I think he was on MasterChef. That's how he got his start. Now he collabs with like Gordon Ramsay. So it's like insane. But good on him. I mean, I'm happy to see it. I think he makes really good content. So Nick DiGiovanni, comforting, good to watch. I'm going to put you right in the A tier. Probably pretty high up. Maybe right next to Jesser. You guys are like the same person in like a different niche. All right, Ryan Higa, part of Niga Higa. If you don't know what that is, it's not a curse word as people like to say. It's the name of the channel, which had like 20 million subscribers. They were like one of the first channels to reach like the 10 million subscriber milestone. They'd make a lot of funny skits. They were really solid. He retired way too early. And I think that their channel at the time of deletion, or I guess pausing to upload or stopping to upload, would be an S tier channel for sure. But at the bottom, Nikocado Avocado, he's like a really overweight like eater. He does mukbangs, and I think he just kind of, you know, just like eats his way to, I don't like his content. I think his content's brain dead. I think he's not F tier though. I think he used to make good mukbangs, but now he's like, you're D tier. Ninja's S tier. Let's stop playing with ourselves here. We're not playing games. Ninja's an S tier YouTuber. Probably throw him up like right here. You know, I probably put him even a little bit higher than ASAP Science. So I'm gonna, now that I look at this, knock them down to here. Yeah. What is there to say? Like, stream with Dre kind of put Twitch on the map, aka he put live streaming on the map. So Ninja's a great figure in the YouTube space. He's really big and he's great. So I'm a big fan of Ninja. This is Noah Beck, I believe, who I don't think makes like great YouTube videos. I think let's not spend too much time here. Noah Beck's a TikToker. I don't, maybe he makes like long vlog style videos, but as far as I'm aware, it doesn't make like bad content, but you know, it's not like good. I'd probably say it's like pretty average. And if we're saying B or C is average, I'd even put him on the lower side. So let's put him next to Leafy. Odd Ones Out, again, like similar to Jaden Animations, kind of owns the animation space. If anything, a bit more popular and a little more detached from like a Persona 2, which I like. I like that it kind of exists as what it is. And so Odd Ones Out is like actually an S tier YouTuber. Gonna put them right above ASAP Science. Now we have Pat McAfee. I'm a massive Pat McAfee fan. I watch his show pretty regularly and his clips, and he just got bought out by Disney for like $100 million. Also hosts like college football, hosts Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, which I'm a big fan of. I tune into that. So I love Pat McAfee. I think he's a really entertaining personality. You put him in front of a camera, he could talk for like hours. I always value that in an entertainer. So I think he's like really, really solid. If you don't watch him and you're not into sports, you won't really understand it, but he's great, trust me. So let's put him like pretty high up. Now we have Penguin Zero. This is gonna be hard to, I think, grasp, but Penguin Zero for me is immortalized as a top 5 YouTuber of all time. I'm even gonna put him above Dude Perfect. I think what people don't realize about Penguin Zero is that he has been uploading videos since 2007 or so, constantly. And at first he was like faceless, and he would do these really funny like gameplay videos in which he would like voice over playing like these ridiculous games like Pepsi Man and like Oregon Trail, and they were really funny. And he would like do like stuff with infomercials, and then he face revealed, and when he face revealed, like he got this cult following, to which point he was like a top 5 streamer on Twitch. And the craziest thing I think about him is that he uploads 2 videos every single day and has been doing that for like the past like 10 years. His output, I talked about Lanky Box's output, which is obviously insane. He's been doing that for so long, and he's just become like the YouTuber of the day. It's like, oh, new Charlie video, oh, and there's like 2 every single day. It's like insane. Like if you just look into his channel and truly understand what's happening behind the scenes, it's the most impressive thing that you could find on YouTube outside of like, you know, maybe like Mr. Beast, what he does on YouTube. It's insane. I know that feels high for like an individual YouTuber that doesn't have 20 million plus subs, but it's impressive. PewDiePie, again, eternalized. PewDiePie, I'm gonna have to put right below Coco Melon. He's in that top 10 all time, of course. Yeah, the first individual YouTuber to reach 100 million subscribers. He single-handedly like ruined people's AdSense, which I think is hilarious because with the adpocalypse, because of his controversies. Pioneered the Let's Play, which continues to be basically the biggest genre on YouTube. I would say like 25% of these YouTubers kind of dabble in that space, and they wouldn't exist if he didn't exist. So really important. PewDiePie, obviously S+. Pokimane as a YouTuber, I mean, I don't know what she does. She's kind of more of a streamer. I think her YouTube videos or whatever, I think they're just like basically like vlogs or like day in the life or stream highlights. So I'll put her like in B tier. Joe Rogan. So this is tough because Joe Rogan as a YouTuber, he moved on to Spotify, but if I'm gonna take him as a YouTuber at face value, I'd probably have to put him as an immortalized YouTuber because he has the most popular podcast of all time. He's gotten so many important people on there. He reaches so many people, it's like unbelievable. So I think Joe Rogan in terms of YouTubers would be right ahead of maybe Coco Melon. Joe Rogan is Coco Melon for 18+-year-olds. That's who Joe Rogan is. All right, so before I talked about Preston, that was Preston Plays. So this is now his normal Preston channel. So I'd put his normal Preston channel at the top of A tier, and then I'd move his Preston Plays, maybe like, let's put it like bottom of the A tier near Mr. Beast Gaming. Ray William Johnson, again, OG, been around for a while, came back on shorts, continues to kill it, has a really good kind of, you know, structure going. I'd have to put him solidly in the S tier right here. The React Bros, look, they have good content with like the whole React series. I don't love how they tried to basically, you know, take a claim on all React content and act like they own it. That's obviously not cool. So that's going to dock them a good amount, probably into the C's, just because they seem like jerks. People who like are willing to kind of like, hey, we want this, we're going to take this for our own personal benefit. And also it's like, let's be real. If you're reacting to content, you're not making like premier content to begin with. So that coupled with the fact that, you know, they're kind of like jerks to people, I'd probably put them in C tier. Top is bottom of B. Bottom of B. All right, this is reaction time. Let's not waste time here. Reaction Time's a B tier YouTuber. They had their moment and it was very cool, but that's the extent of it. Rhett and Link. So in addition to Good Mythical Morning, which I gave an S tier, Rhett and Link themselves as personal YouTubers, I'd probably put in the A tier. All right, it's getting a little squished now, but now we have Rice Gum. Rice Gum, it's hard because he was so unavoidable from 2016 to like 2018. He was important because he was in every single one of the diss tracks. He was part of the Cloud House or whatever that was called with like all those people, like the FaZe House. He was like part of that Jake Paul era. Rice Gum's tough. He's not S tier though. I can't put him there because he's kind of dropped off since then, but he's a good OG YouTuber, whether you like him or not. I mean, he's certainly impactful on the platform. So let's put him somewhere in the A tier. Okay, Ryan Trahan, kind of a newcomer to this list, and he had his Penny series. He has a lot of cool concepts. I think a lot of people try to emulate his thumbnails. So he's a great YouTuber. I'm not sure he's made it into S yet. I think he's well on his way, but I think for now I'm gonna have to put Ryan Trahan somewhere up here in the A tier. Ryan's World. So it would be, again, like I talked about family vlog channels, how I think they're super exploitative, and I don't think that they're very beneficial for the kids, and I don't think that it's a good precedent to set that like your kid's gonna be on camera from the day they come out the womb just for monetization purposes. But that being said, he's an absolute beast. He's kind of old enough now too to make his own decisions, but it's kind of been like forced on him. So I'm a little split, but Ryan's World, I mean, A tier. If I put Kids Diana around here, I'm gonna have to put him maybe ahead of BuzzFeed. Screen Rant, again, like similar to, I guess, like Cinema Sins, and that they talk about movies just in different ways, and any movie related channel, it's really digestible, easy to eat, but I'm gonna have to put this in B tier. Shane Dawson, I've never watched his content outside of like when I do videos on him, and the videos are always so bad when I watch them. I'm sure there's some videos like his investigative stuff that were cool. Shane Dawson to me is just not a very good YouTuber. I'm not sure why he got super popular, so I'm gonna have to put him at the bottom of the B tier. I'll be kind of nice. Sidemen are ridiculously huge. I don't understand their impact because I'm not from the UK, but I have a feeling that like they're the same as like almost Mr. Beast in the UK. They're so big. You look at their videos within like the first hour, they have like 10 million views. It's insane. They're gonna be bottom of the S tier. Let's not mince words here. Smosh Games, never heard of it. Gonna be honest with you, never heard of it. So I'm sure it's decent, but I never heard of it, so it can't be very good. So I'm gonna have to put you in D tier. Smosh, on the other hand, probably want to put Smosh somewhere here. It's really hard to not put, my hand is going close to S plus just because of all the milestones they've broken and how important they were in like the early 2000s, what they did, they came back. Were they revolutionary? Yes, so that makes them S tier. Are they immortalized? I think they are. I think they're gonna have to go like right ahead of Jawed, and I'm actually gonna move Charlie down into S tier right above Logan Paul. All right, moving on, we have Sniper Wolf. Sniper Wolf, React content, but daily uploads pretty much. I don't know if she does it anymore. 30 million plus subscribers, been around for 10 plus years. You gotta appreciate the grind. I mean, whether you like her or not, she's been doing something right. So I'm gonna have to put her in the A tier, but at the bottom. Steven Crowder, so he's like a political commentator. I think he's banned from YouTube, so it's really hard to put him anything higher than like D because you're banned off the platform. While he was here, he did like the Change My Mind series, and he had like his own show, I think. I haven't really listened to him too much. I know that he's gotten into fights with like the Daily Wire and stuff. But yeah, I don't listen to him honestly too much. I've watched him on Joe Rogan before. That's the extent of it. So you're banned on YouTube. I think by default, you're a bad YouTuber if you're banned off YouTube. Like you can't post there. So I think by default, you have to be like F tier. Stephen He does like these videos in which he like, I don't even know. He does like skits and stuff. They're pretty funny overall. So I'd probably give this, let's go B tier. I think it's like a lot of like Asian dad stuff. Steve will do it. Again, he's banned from YouTube, but I think unlike Steven Crowder, Steve will do it might come back, and he was banned for different reasons. He was banned because he like promoted a gambling thing because he didn't blur the URL. I think Steve will do it was like a fusion of like Mr. Beast, Nelk, Bradley Martin. He was like high key one of the best YouTubers. I think he should come back. I think he had some of the best videos out there. So I'd actually put him right up there maybe with like Aiden Ross. He was really influential. I think he was a really solid YouTuber. Next up we have the Stokes twins, who I just made a video where they like got arrested for doing like this fake robbery prank that was really cringe, but they have some videos that are undeniably some of the most popular on the platform. Like you'll be surprised. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this video has like 50 million views, and it's like them reviewing Amazon products, which is like insane. So the Stokes twins are big. They're kind of like Brent Rivera-y, and then I know that they steal some thumbnails, this and that. So I'm gonna put them in D tier while also acknowledging that they're really popular and that it's hard for me to put them lower than that, because if they were ethical people, they'd be like S tier. But like because they steal thumbnails and because I think they've been in like a lot of stuff and a lot of people are not really fond of them, I think it's kind of made me biased against them, despite not knowing a lot beyond kind of what I know. So let's put them like maybe bottom of the C tier. I don't think they're as egregious as like the Brent Riveras. Sunny V2. So if you've ever seen The Downfall of Blank, it's probably a Sunny V2 video. Some people are against them. I think it's just content. I think if you're making content and you're reacting to somebody, everybody's allowed to have their opinion on YouTube. You can make a video essay if you want on any sort of drama. That's completely fine. I think Sunny V2's concepts are fun. Whether he does superficial like Wikipedia searches for his information or not, like whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your channel. You run it how you want. You can talk about what you want. Just don't watch it if you don't like it. But I like it. I think it's interesting. So I'm going to put him like A tier. T-Series, let's stop it. T-Series is immortalized. They are the current reigning YouTubers. The reason they're going to go down, one, because they're a conglomerate giant business music channel, and two, they're going to be passed by Mr. Beast. So they can't be super high, but for now they're like here, right? Like for now, T-Series is like top 5, but I'm pricing into this that they're going to be passed, because if you're watching this video in 2025, they're probably already passed. They're probably even slightly more relevant at this point. So, but they're still goated. So let's put them there. Now we have Tayzon Day, who made Chocolate Rain and hasn't done anything really since. So Tayzon Day had one single video, so I'm not like gonna harp on him and act like he's like the greatest to ever do it. I think he knows what he did, and he did something great, but that's it. Like one great thing, and that's probably enough to be a pretty good YouTuber. Somewhere in the middle, B tier. Technoblade was the most prolific Minecraft creator, maybe outside of Dream, and I think he was obviously way more respected than Dream. It's hard to not put him into S tier. Obviously, he passed away, so rest in peace to him, and I hope his family and everybody has been mourning his death. Now it's been like a year, maybe longer. I hope they've been dealing with it well, but yeah, I don't think he's anything but S tier. Like, how do you not put him in S tier? Probably somewhere maybe like around ASAP Science. Sidemen, I'm gonna move up a little bit. Tfue is like Ninja, but not as good. And I don't know if his YouTube videos are there anymore. So, I mean, Tfue, I'm kind of lukewarm on. He's fine, pretty solid. Let's put him in B tier. Dodo does like those animal rescuing videos, which are fun to watch. And they definitely make you feel tingly and good on the inside. But then part of you is like, oh, well, why are you sharing animal abuse? But then they're raising awareness. They're like PETA, but they make you feel good. I'm kind of conflicted on where to put them. Maybe I want to put them, let's go B tier, right in the middle. This is Rudy Maniscalco, I think his name, and he's just in the Vine crew. He's the same person as Anwar, as Adam W, as Lele Pons, as Amanda Cerny. He's in that. Don't think he's actually done anything on YouTube since. He may actually even be a C tier. At least the other ones like still actively post. This is Sweet Anita, who's this Twitch streamer with Tourette's from the UK. I mean, I don't know how her YouTube channel is. She has her condition, which she works through pretty well. She makes good content out of it, and she seems to be thriving, so she's doing her thing. Good for her. I personally don't watch her content content. I don't think her content's anything revolutionary. I think it's pretty solid, so I'd put it like in the B tier. This is Try Guys. They had a lot of issues, right? They had that whole falling out and everything that happened with them. I never really watched them prior. I don't put too much stake in them. Bottom of the B tier. So now we have Anthony Fontano. Anthony Fontano just reviews music. I don't really listen to music. That's kind of a crazy thing to say, but I don't, and so I don't really watch him too much. I'm aware of what he does, and I know he's controversial, but I know he's not controversial in like the bad way. It's just his music opinions are controversial. So Anthony Fontano overall is probably somewhere in the B tier. This is Filthy Frank. I don't really think Filthy Frank had good content. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's like, again, like an edgelord, which is just not that funny. He's like iDubbbz to me, but like a little bit worse and not ingrained into YouTube culture. So C tier. Wired. Wired does like the autocomplete stuff, which I love. I think it's like a staple, and then a lot of people did like the, oh, Googling myself. It became like a trend, but again, that might be like their only big series, so they're also gonna be like top of the B tier. They're good, right above Pokemon. Next up is Tyler Oakley. Tyler Oakley, I didn't watch him. I'm gonna be real here. Let's not mince words. He's bottom of the B tier. Nothing to say. This is Typical Gamer. Typical Gamer does videos that are very similar to Charlie, except he's less popular, doesn't post as often, and his takes are a little less, I think, well received. So if you're doing all of that, you're probably in the B tier. Okay, as I'm talking, I realize that that's Ordinary Gamer, I'm pretty sure. So Typical Gamer, I'm actually not aware of. So shout out to you for not being on my brain. So I'll put you in the B tier. Tom Scott, just retired from YouTube, basically. He made a lot of interesting videos, like him trying parkour is one of my favorite. Been around for a long time, really wholesome guy, good thumbnails, good concepts, not heavily edited, really cool, really fun. A tier for sure, probably in the middle to high, maybe like right above David Dobrik. Tommy Innit, popular for like 2 years, Minecraft, kind of dropped off since then, doesn't really do anything but Minecraft, so kind of pigeonholed himself a little bit with his audience. Was like one of the fastest channels to grow, but then kind of died out. So again, it's kind of hard to, I think, assess Tommy Innit properly. Tommy Innit as a YouTuber, probably somewhere in like top of the B, lower the A. Maybe low A just because of what he meant to Minecraft at the time, which is more than Dream, so Dream is in B, but less controversial and arguably more impressive because of his age. Topper Guild, so this is just like a, you know, YouTuber who posts shorts, and you've probably seen his videos. They probably made you mad, honestly. He'd do like the videos where he like ruins food. Now he does a lot of videos in which, frankly, he's kind of on that Brent Rivera path. So Topper Guild, it's hard not to put you in C. I mean, he's popular, so he does a lot of good things, but again, he's just going down the wrong path. So I think I got to throw him somewhere in like low B, maybe high C. Throw you right above Colleen Ballinger. Tana Mojo, don't even know what she does. I know she got canceled for saying the N-word or something and like having like a bad con, like TanaCon or something. That's all I know about her. She was married to Jake Paul too, I know that. So the extent to which I know her is generally negative. So for that, I'm gonna have to put you in the C tier, right below Topper. Unbox Therapy, basically the first tech review channel. Really popular, really good specs, really fun to watch. Learned a lot. A lot of people followed suit. Unbox Therapy, they're not S tier, but they're up there. They're definitely high A tier. Unspeakable, kind of like FaZe Rug-esque, like kind of does the same sort of videos. Not as, I'd say, popular as FaZe Rug and not as well received, but definitely a good YouTuber overall, so I'd put him in the A tier, pretty high up. Now we have Vanos Gaming. I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch Vanos Gaming. I don't know what they do. Not sure. Like, I know that they make gameplay, let's play type videos, but I'm not sure like what the unique value that they do is. So I think on that alone, I'd have to throw them maybe into B tier. VAT19, I know they make products and I know a lot of people love them and I know that they're pretty influential. And with all that being said though, I haven't really watched them too much. So it's gonna be hard pressed to put them anywhere but A tier. Vector, this is the guy that just cosplays and just like okay, this guy is like Kabi Lame, but way less interesting. And Kabi Lame, I also think is just like not that interesting of a fella. I think what he does is not like great content, but I think Vector also doesn't do great content. You just like stitch a video that's already popular and then you just do like, he's basically Kabi Lame. No shade to Kabi Lame. I'm happy that he's like massive, but Vector just doesn't do it. You're a C tier. Video Game Donkey. Video Game Donkey has pretty solid videos. Again, don't watch him too much. The stuff I've watched, I've liked. I know a lot of people love him, so A tier. Let's not think too much. Vicstar, again, don't really watch. Don't know if you're relevant outside of Sidemen, so I don't know if your Vicstar individual channel super popular. I'm sure it's good. If I know your name, that means like you're probably popular enough to be a pretty good YouTuber, so let's put you in the middle of B. Vsauce. Stop what you're doing. Vsauce is top of the S tier along with these guys. I'd say he's probably like a top 15 YouTuber of all time, right? Right below Logan Paul. Some of the most interesting videos you can watch on the platform. I miss him. I miss when Vsauce was Michael Stevens. Now he even posts like shorts. He's starting to be like a fun guy. He sells his Curiosity box. Been on tons of podcasts. I think he went to University of Chicago as an engineer student. I love Vsauce. He's one of my personal favorite YouTubers. W2S, think this is like some Sidemen spinoff. Don't know who they are. Not gonna like front with you guys, but I know they're popular, so let's put them in A tier. Let's just move on. one. Alex Wasabi. I used to watch his videos. It was like comforting to watch like this whole vlog era. I think a lot of people would call him a good YouTuber. Don't know if he's a great YouTuber, but he's a good YouTuber. And I think good YouTubers belong at the top of the B tier. Watch Data. Watch Data is just like a data dump channel in which like you'll see the video scroll. It's nothing super fascinating. Like what they do, I don't think like requires a ton of like brain power. It's just like, hey, we have a bunch of money. Let's put out data videos. So I don't think they're like good YouTubers. I think if anything, they're kind of like mid. So let's throw them in like bottom of the B. Watch Mojo. Oh, so this is Miss Mojo, I believe. But the Mojos, let's put them together. They're both amazing. Will Tennyson. So he's one of my favorite YouTubers. I think he's really versatile. He's got like good humor. I think he's a good like workout guy. Like you could learn a lot from him. If I could collab with one YouTuber, I think it would want to be Will Tennyson. I think he's somebody that I personally would mesh with the most because of some similar interests. And I also just think that he makes content that is super interesting. So I'm a big fan of him. I can't put him in S tier just because like he hasn't broken into that S tier area yet, but he's certainly like, for me, like top of the A tier. Let's put him right next to Jesser. Now we got EXO Team. I've seen their like videos on like my Instagram page. I think I blocked them because it's like a bunch of like 15-year-olds just dancing, which like I don't really want to watch that, frankly. So there's just, you know, it's just that kids content. XQC. As an overall creator, XQC is awesome. As a YouTuber, he just re-uploads stuff. But if I'm judging him as a creator, I mean, XQC is an S tier creator. Like he is the most popular streamer of the last maybe like 10 years. Like the most popular right now is probably like Speed or something, or like Ibai, like some Spanish streamer. But consistently, like he's just so goated. $100 million kick deal. So how do you not put him in S tier? Let's put him above. Let's put him next to Ninja. Yes Theory, again, really cool concept on YouTube to say yes to everything, to seek discomfort. Their whole brand is really popular and their mantra is great. I'm glad that they exist. I think they do great work. I think they have great fun videos. They've been fun to follow for as long as I've followed them, maybe 10 years. So I love Yes Theory. I'm gonna have to put them probably bottom of the S tier. The last 5, we have YouTube themselves. YouTube themselves have put out YouTube Rewinds, which have single-handedly broken the platform and have removed dislikes and have done XYZ. So I love YouTube as a platform, but the YouTube channel itself is low-key the worst channel to ever exist. It has like a combined 100 million dislikes, so how could it not? Zach Choi ASMR, I think that's his name. He's a shorts creator that does like, he fries like bologna and then eats it, and it's like really like whatever. B tier, middle of the road, fun to watch, shorts content, cool, but whatever. Zach King. Zach King is the king of illusions, and he is a great YouTuber. I actually think Zach King is an entry into S tier. He's a top 5 most followed on TikTok. I think he has 20 million plus on YouTube, and he's just a really good energy, never in drama, knows what he does good. He's kind of like Mark Rober almost. Like they kind of look similar too. I'll put him solidly like above Emma Chamberlain, Emma Chamberlain. We have ZHC, who's kind of like Mr. Beast of art. Honestly, I don't really watch it too much, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. I think it's just the same sort of thing. I think he just has Mr. Beast editor and stuff and just does his thing. He's like the Matthew Beam of like art. And then finally, we have Zong, who makes like kids shorts content. Popular. I put Alan Chicken Chow somewhere in like A tier, so wherever he is, I'm going to put him right next to him. So there's Alan Chicken Chow. Let's move these boys a little bit lower too. All right, so there you have it. This is every single YouTuber and where I think they lie in this list. So to go over the top 10 in order, I would say Mr. Beast, Joe Rogan, Cocomelon, PewDiePie, Dude Perfect, Smosh, Joed, who was the first YouTuber and the co-founder of YouTube, T-Series, Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero, and Logan Paul. Those would be my top 10 YouTubers of all time. After that, we have Vsauce, KSI, Marquez Brownlee, Mark Rober, Lankybox, Markiplier, FazeRug, Speed, Kai, and Ninja, rounding out the 20. And then after that, I mean, you guys could read. I mean, this is kind of everything else. The worst YouTubers on the platform are Austin Jones, Daddy of 5, and YouTube, followed by, after that, we have J Station, the Dobre Twins, Sam Pepper, and Steven Crowder because he's banned. And then after that, we have stuff like Brent Rivera, the Ace Family, some guy I have no idea, Smosh Games, and Nikocado Avocado, and the list goes on and on. Just like a bell curve, it makes sense that it kind of, you know, disperses like that. Like if you turn this on its side, it kind of looks like a bell curve. So I feel like we did a pretty good job. I didn't weight most of the weight should lie in the middle. That's where most of the fat should be. And I think that's exactly what I did. So I'm happy with this list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content, make sure to click here or click here. Otherwise, subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.